Hello everyone. In this presentation, I will be discussing on the concept of DC motor characteristics. So we have already seen in the previous presentation how to derive an expression for torque in terms of two distinct types. One is called as an armature torque, another one is called as a shaft torque, TSH. Armature torque is represented as TA. So here we are going to discuss the relationship or the characteristic of a DC motor. So DC motor, we have seen different categories or classifications, which is comprising of series type, shunt type as well as compound type. So depending upon the field connection with respect to the armature part of the DC motor, it can be categorized or classified either as a series, shunt or compound. So now in this particular relationship, we are going to study basically three distinct type of characteristics. One is called as a torque versus armature current. So torque means here we are talking about armature torque. So TA it is represented as, versus IA characteristic, which is also called as electrical characteristic. After that, we will be discussing or focusing upon speed versus armature current. So speed of a DC motor represented in terms of N and armature current represented as IA. And the last type of characteristic we are going to discuss is depending upon the speed as well as torque, armature torque, that is TA, and N characteristic, which is also called as a mechanical type of characteristic. So let us see what are these distinct type of characteristic in consideration with series as well as shunt motor. So first let us concentrate upon series motor. So this is the circuit diagram for the representation of a series motor. As we have already discussed in the classification, depending upon the field winding. So here field winding is connected in series with the armature of a DC motor. So it is called as series type of DC motor. Motor means it is going to accept electrical input and it is going to provide us the mechanical output power. So input is appearing over this side, that is right hand side, wherein we are going to apply the voltage V, or it is called as supply voltage. Since it is a series connection, the series field current ISE value will be always equal to a value of armature current IA. So I have represented it as IA itself. RSC is the series field resistance over here. IA is the armature current. RA is the armature resistance. And EB is the back EMF developed. So this back EMF is always in opposition with the applied or the supply voltage V. So now coming to the concept of characteristic. So first characteristic is depending upon torque as well as armature current. So in the previous presentation, we have seen what is the relationship for armature torque. So armature torque can be written as equal to 0.159 into 5 into Z into IA, again multiplied by P divided by A. Its unit in terms of Newton meter. If I want to convert this into kg meters, I am going to divide this by 9.81 factor. So now from this I can write 0.159 is constant, number of conductors Z will remain constant, number of poles as well as number of parallel paths will remain constant. Here only the variable parameters what we can find is, one is the flux phi, another one is the armature current represented as IA. So the entire equation I can simplify it as torque, armature torque, which is directly proportional to the flux multiplied with the armature current IA. Here I am talking about series type of DC motor, wherein we have discussed or studied the flux value phi will always be in direct proportionality with the armature current IA. If I substitute this in the main equation of armature torque, I can further write the expression as armature torque will be directly proportional to, phi is nothing but proportional to IA. So IA into IA, we will get it as equal to IA square. It depends upon the load now. So if I am considering the lighter loads, what happens? If I am considering heavier type of loads, what's going to happen for the armature current or the flux, and how it is going to affect the armature torque. Suppose I am considering the lighter loads. So if I am considering a lighter loads, which means that the load is decreased, obviously the armature current would have decreased, which in turn make the flux also very small. If I am considering heavier type of loads, if I am considering an increased load, in turn it will increase the armature current, which in turn will increase the flux. So in case of heavier loads, as Ia goes on increasing, the flux value phi also goes on increasing. So I can write the equation as armature torque directly proportional to Ia square for heavier loads. Whereas when it is going to increase, it is going to increase till a level of saturation. The point when this particular saturation has been attained, the flux value phi will become almost independent of the value of the armature current. So when it becomes almost independent of the value of the armature current, the value of armature torque is no longer in direct proportionality with the square of your Ia, but armature torque is just in proportionality with Ia. So if I want you to explain it in this particular graphical representation, here this curve represents torque, armature torque versus the armature current relationship. So x-axis represents the armature current and y-axis represents the armature torque. So as the armature current is lesser, as the armature current is less, what happens? As the armature current goes on increasing, what's going to happen? So under the heavy loads, we have seen that the armature current is going to increase. So as the armature current goes on increasing, the torque value is in direct proportionality with the square of the armature current. So unless and until a particular saturation point is reached, the curve is going to have a parabolic increase. So from 0 till a point A, what you are saying, it is a parabolic increase in the curve. Once the saturation level is attained, this condition occurs. That is, phi value becomes almost independent of the armature current, and now the armature torque will be in direct proportionality with Ia. That is from point A to B. Direct proportionality means it is almost a straight line, what you are going to see over here. So 0 to A is a parabolic increase, A to B is a linear increase, or a straight line, what we call it as. So this is the armature torque relationship versus your with respect to your armature current. We have seen one more type of torque, that is TSH, which we call it as a shaft torque, which is bit less when compared with your armature torque, and its curve is represented using a dotted line. Once again, TSH with respect to armature current, what is the relationship? It is shown by a dotted line. Exactly, it is derived in a similar manner, and you are going to obtain it slightly lesser when compared with the armature torque. So hope you understood how to consider or how to derive the relationship between an armature torque as well as an armature current. Further, we will move on with the second type of characteristic of DC series motor, that is speed as well as the armature current. So the next characteristic is speed versus the armature current. So even to determine the speed of a DC motor, we have one relationship which is stated as N will be equal to EB divided by phi into 60A divided by number of conductors into number of poles, Z into T. From this I can write, see here 60 is a constant value, A, that is number of parallel paths, number of poles P, and number of conductors Z. All these are constant values, and the variable values are EB and phi over here. So I can write the value of the speed of a DC motor directly proportional to EB divided by the flux phi. Since we are talking about series motor, once again the value of flux is directly proportional to the armature current IA. So from this I can write, so phi I can substitute it as IA in this speed equation. So speed can be written as equal to, sorry, not equal to, directly proportional to EB divided by, instead of phi I will represent it as IA now. So for lighter loads, IA value is decreased. If IA value is decreased, the flux value is decreased. When the flux value is decreased, the value of speed is increased, because those two are inversely proportional to each other. Next, during the heavier loads, the armature current is increased. If the armature current is increased, flux is increased. If the flux is increased, the speed is decreased. So this is the relationship for speed versus the armature current IA. So when I have decreased the armature current, what happens? Armature current is decreased means flux is decreased. Flux is decreased means these two are inversely proportional. So speed is increased, and it is vice versa. When IA is increased, that is for heavier loads, speed will get decreased. So if you see into this particular relationship, what happens? Armature current as well as speed of the DC motor both are inversely proportional to each other. So the graph what you are going to obtain, it is the second type, what is shown over here, x-axis representing the armature current IA and y-axis representing the speed of the DC series motor in terms of N. So it is inversely proportional to each other. So as the speed increases, so you have the value of armature current very less, because this is the increase in speed. This is the decrease in speed where you have the armature current very high. So this is the relationship between speed as well as the armature current. Last type of characteristic in DC series motor we will be seeing in terms of speed as well as the armature torque, for which we will be using the torque versus armature current as well as speed versus the armature current partial relationships. So first two relationship, if it is clear for you, the third type of relationship is very easy for you to understand. So let us again recall the first and the second, from which we will be deriving the third type of characteristic. So from the first type, that is torque versus armature current, we had drawn a conclusion like torque value will be directly proportional to the flux multiplied with the armature current. And from the second characteristic, that is speed versus the armature current, we have drawn a conclusion like N value will be directly proportional to EB divided by 5. Apart from this, we know for a series motor, phi value is directly proportional to the armature current, that is A. So this much relationship is clear for us. So if I consider a heavy load, if the load is increased, obviously armature current will increase. If armature current increases from this particular relationship, the flux will get strengthened. Flux gets strengthened in the sense flux will increase. If the flux increases, the speed will decrease. If the flux increases, armature torque will increase. Armature torque is going to increase. If I consider the second case, that is lighter loads, or the load is decreased, if the load is decreased, armature current will decrease. Armature current, if it decreases, the flux value will also decrease. If the flux value decreases, speed increases. If the speed increases, armature torque decreases. So from this I can quote the relationship for your speed as well as the armature current. If the speed decreases, armature torque increases. If the speed increases, armature torque decreases, which means that once again it is following the nature something like the second characteristic itself, which is inversely proportional to each other. As you go on increasing your armature torque, as the armature torque is going on increasing, the speed has reduced. So initially it was at a very high speed and later gradually it has declined. So both are in inverse proportionality with each other. So one thing we can have a conclusion out of this is main thing, that is whenever you are considering a series motor, it should always be started with some kind of load, which we call it as a mechanical load. So mechanical load has to be applied in it. So if you are considering somewhat a load, and then if you are starting, the value of armature current will be large, which is in turn having the value of flux also large, so the speed will be small. But if you don't start with the mechanical load on it, that is for lighter load, if you are taking into consideration, IA value will be very small, which will in turn have the flux value as a small, and obviously the speed will be dangerously high. Sometimes it may cause some kind of severe damage to your motor also. So this is regarding the characteristic, three distinct type of characteristic: torque versus armature current, speed versus armature current, and speed versus the armature torque in consideration with the DC series motor. Next we will look into all these three characteristics once again in consideration of shunt motor. So this is the circuit diagram for DC shunt motor. So if you see here again, here V is missing. Sorry, this should be the supply voltage V. So if you consider this particular circuit diagram, here we are going to apply input in terms of supply voltage V. So this is the main current which is going to start to flow from the supply, and when it finds a junction or a node, it gets divided or finds a path over here. So one current will be going to the armature part, that is IA current. Another one will be going towards the field winding part, which is called as ISH. Why it is called as shunt motor? Armature is connected in parallel with the field winding. So since it is having a parallel connection, the name is called as shunt type of DC motor. So now Again, if you consider the armature part, it is having an armature resistance in terms of Ra and back EMF EB, which is in opposition with the supply voltage V. Coming to the concept of characteristic, once again we are going to use the base equation of torque, base equation of armature torque, that is armature torque is directly proportional to phi multiplied with Ia. How we are getting this particular expression I have shown you, that is torque, armature torque is equal to 0.159 phi z Ia P divided by A Newton meters. From that we are having this particular equation. Now I am considering a shunt motor in which the value of phi is almost a constant value. So phi value is almost a constant value over here. So if you consider phi as a constant, I can manipulate the expression for an armature torque as directly proportional to the armature current Ia. So now if I apply the concept of heavy as well as lighter load, so if I consider the motor, that is shunt motor under lighter loads, the armature current will get reduced for lighter loads. If the armature current gets reduced, if this gets reduced, since torque is in direct proportionality with the armature current, even TA should get reduced. So TA should get reduced. If I consider heavy loads, if the load is increased, even the value of armature current will increase and the armature torque will also increase. This concept is entirely reverse of your series type of motor, where in series type of motor I had told you that it has to be always started with some load, wherein we are considering it in terms of heavier loads, where your armature current will increase and phi value will also increase, so that the speed is very small. Here it is quite opposite. It should not be started with some kind of load over here, because in that particular condition there will be dangerously high speed which may cause damage to the DC motor. So this is the difference, main difference between shunt type as well as series type. So that you are going to start with the series motor, you are going to start with the mechanical load applied, whereas this one you are not going to start with the heavier load applied, because it will be causing a dangerously high speed which may cause damage to the equipment or a motor. So now this is the relationship for your armature current as well as armature torque. So now if you see or look into the diagram, the first diagram, this is going to give us the relationship between the armature torque as well as armature current. Armature torque is represented as y-axis. Armature current is represented in terms of x-axis. So here both are in direct proportionality. So it is a straight line what you are going to obtain. So linear increase. So when you are going to have increase in the armature current in the same proportionality, even your armature torque is going to increase. And again, if I want to draw the characteristic for TSH, that is shaft versus the armature current, shaft torque versus armature current, it is slightly lesser when compared to the armature torque, and hence you will be getting the graph like this, which is represented in terms of a dotted line. So this is regarding the characteristic of DC shunt motor in consideration with armature torque as well as armature current. Next we will move on with the second type of characteristic, which is based upon the speed represented with the term N as well as the armature current Ia. So for this again we require one more expression what we have derived for speed in terms of back EMF. So N is equal to EB by phi into 60A divided by ZP. From that we have found that N value will be directly proportional to EB divided by phi. It's a shunt motor, so phi value will remain almost a constant term. So I can straight away write the equation as the speed is in direct proportionality with the back EMF EB. So direct proportion with the value of EB. So you are going to expect the waveform, the curve to be a straight line, but in accuracy it is not. Your EB value as well as phi value, both of them will decrease with increase in the load. So here it is bit different. When you are going to increase the load, both your EB and phi value will decrease. When you compare EB and phi, there is a much more decline of EB value. EB value decreases more when compared to the value of phi, which means that it will decrease. When EB value has decreased, obviously it has to decrease the value of speed, that is n. So this decrease in the speed will be around a value of 5 to 15% of the full load speed, what we call. So that decline is shown by this particular curve. In the second figure, whatever the decline has been shown, that is mainly due to that. So you cannot expect it to be a constant value like this. So there will be a slight decline. So accurately, if you want to draw the plot for speed versus the armature current, so it is AC plot. So this is regarding your speed versus the armature current characteristic. Last, it is speed versus armature torque. So for speed versus armature torque, if you look into the plot, that is the third plot, the armature torque is represented in the x-axis and the speed is represented as y-axis. The speed is going to fall somewhat as the load torque, that is TA, is going to increase. So drawing the conclusion from the first one as well as second one, just like the previous one, that is the series motor what we have derived, the same way I can conclude that as I go on increasing the armature torque, the speed will go on reducing. So the second as well as the third characteristic curve will almost be similar to each other. So this is regarding the concept of characteristics of DC series motor as well as DC shunt motor in consideration with the armature torque versus armature current, speed versus armature current, and speed versus the armature torque. So apart from this, we have to remember what are the distinct applications wherein we are going to make use of distinct type of motors. So if I come to the concept of shunt motors, basically shunt motors will be using it in the centrifugal and reciprocating pumps, machine tools, then lathes as well as blowers and fans. And the second type, that is the series motor, wherein you have the field winding as well as the armature connected in series with each other, will be using such kind of DC motors for the traction purpose as well as in conveyors, hose and cranes. Last type, that is compound motor, in that basically we will be using cumulative type of compound motors in case of conveyors, elevators, uh, punches, heavy machine tools and heavy planers. So these are the distinct applications wherein we will be using the distinct type of DC motors. So in this particular presentation, I have tried to cover the characteristics, that is electrical characteristic, mechanical characteristic as well as speed versus IA characteristic for both shunt as well as series motor. Along with that, we have seen what are the distinct applications of the classification of different types of DC motors. So hope all of you understood the concept of characteristics as well as application of DC motor. Thank you for listening.